Hello, everyone, and welcome to Clarksville's Political Forum. I'm Van Stokes, your moderator for today's session. And on behalf of Leadership Clarksville and the Clarksville Area Chamber of Commerce, we're glad you could be with us today. This forum is coming to you from the facilities here at the Mass Communications Department on the campus of Austin Peay State University. And it's intended for you, the viewers and the voters, to have an informed choice when you go to the polls on August the 7th. Today, we're going to have the opportunity to meet and greet the candidates who will be on the ballot for Register of Deeds. They are, to my left, Mr. Joe Sweeten and Ms. Connie Gunay. Now, in a moment, our candidates will each have 2 minutes in which to provide opening remarks. Following their opening comments, we will turn to our panelists for questions. Joining us once again is a distinguished group of panelists. Seated to my right, they are the business editor and county government writer for the Leaf Chronicle, Mr. Jimmy Settle. From 5-Star Radio and ClarksvilleNow.com, Mr. Lee Irwin, and the executive director, Progressive Directions, and the president-elect of Civitan International, Mr. Jay Albertia. Each candidate will be given 1 minute to respond to each question from our panelists. And at the conclusion of the questioning, each candidate will then have 2 minutes in which to provide closing comments. Our closing comments today will be given in the reverse order of our opening remarks. Our timekeeper for this session is Ms. Yvonne Pickering. The Register of Deeds serves as the custodian of legal documents pertaining to real property in this county. It includes warranty deeds, deeds of trust, releases, powers of attorney, liens, amendments, and other miscellaneous documents designated by state law to be recorded. The Register of Deeds is bound to ensure that the integrity of all legal documents processed in that office is maintained in a secure manner. Let's meet our candidates now. We go to them for opening comments. First of all, we will have opening remarks provided by Mr. Joe Sweeten.
Thank you. In the 2 minutes allotted, I'll try to give you a broad view of my life so I can fit it in there. 30 years ago, I came here and have been a resident of this county for 30 years. I came as an Army officer, and I was the commander of the bomb disposal unit at Fort Campbell. After leaving the Army, I started my civilian career here and stayed in Montgomery County, love it here, and was a flight instructor at Outlaw Field. Taught a lot of people to fly, have a lot of captains on airlines that do to me right now. Shortly after that, my first degree was in mathematics. I decided to go back to school to sharpen my skills, and I went to Austin Peay and got a degree in computer science. Right before I graduated, I was hired by Montgomery County, and I've been there 14 years now. This was shortly after the tornado, and if you remember, downtown was torn to pieces, county offices scattered everywhere, courthouse was gutted. And that was part of our office's job, was to rebuild that infrastructure, the machines, the computers, and all that, put that back together. And due to the foresight of a lot of people at the county at that time, that's why we are ahead today, and why we have a pretty good setup at the moment. I've worked with almost every office and department in the county. As I was working for the offices, court system, the sheriff's department, I developed an interest in the law, and I went to law school, and I'm a licensed attorney. I'd like to tell you just briefly about a little bit of civic involvement. That's a passion of mine. I'm the secretary of the Clarksville Rotary Club, and that is the oldest civic organization in Clarksville, 98 years old this year. I volunteer with almost every charity I can think of. If I haven't been to your charity yet, it's just because I haven't gotten there yet. So there's plenty more to relate about me if you would like to. Twitter, Facebook, website. I'm in the white page. You can call me up. There's a lot more to relate. I would like you to be informed and know of our capabilities. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we'll hear opening comments from Ms. Connie Gunay.
Good afternoon. Thank you for the opportunity to be here today. I've been a resident of Montgomery County for 48 years. I grew up in Woodlawn, Tennessee. I've been working in the Register of Deeds office for 30 years. I started working there in, actually 31 years. I started working there in 1983 for Mr. Charles Harrison. And then when Miss Joyce Norfleet Sawyer took over, I was promoted to senior deputy. And then I am chief deputy for Connie Bell in the Register of Deeds office. We take in, like you said, take in legal documents. We keep them for safekeeping. We send them to underground storage for safekeeping. We have a great computer system that that you can. Okay, I'm sorry. That's all.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's go to our panelists now for questions. We have a half a dozen questions prepared by our distinguished panelists. Let's begin with Mr. Jimmy Settle. Mr. Settle, your question will go for the first response to Mr. Joe Sweeten.
Thank you. Mr. Sweeten, both of you have made introductory remarks. Please pinpoint and describe those aspects of yourself that you feel uniquely qualify you for the office of Register of Deeds compared to your opponent.
In my case, varied experience, diverse experience. It's a unique combination, and this is a unique opportunity for me and a unique opportunity for the citizens of Montgomery County to use these skills and experience in this job. Myself, manager, I've done personnel management, the computer skills I have, the legal skills I have. These skills all relate directly to this office. One of the little jobs I have at the county is maintaining the document management system, the databases for that we have with the court system. It's a much more robust system than they use right now. And so I'm very well versed in that, and upgrades and updates to that system. So right now I am actually the most qualified for this one, very qualified for this job. Straightforward, it's directly transferable to what I do now. Thank you.
Ms. Gannett.
Like I said, I've been working in the Register of Deeds office for 30 years. I know the office very well. I know the laws. We work very well with our local attorneys, real estate agents, title companies, surveyors, and local people that come in there. It's not just about recording the documents. You have people come in there that they've just lost their mother or their father, and you've got to know how to talk to the people. You know, you have to relate to the people and help them. Lead them in the right direction.
Mr. Lee Irwin, you have the next question, and it's going to go to Ms. Gannett.
Ms. Gannett, so we can learn maybe a little bit more about the office. How do you define the role of Register of Deeds in the process of county document management?
The Register of Deeds is the leader of the office, of course. She's there in the office working along with the employees of the office. She's just not in her office. A lot of times she's out working with us, and that's a very real aspect of that office.
Thank you very much. Let's go, Mr. Sweeten.
Of the same question, I view this as the Register of Deeds. It is their duty to maintain this office and especially stay as technologically advanced as they can to implement the improvements needed as they go. Of course, Register of Deeds, this office, a lot of people just really can't define if you ask them right off the bat, but it becomes real important when you have a property dispute or liens against your property. Then it's deathly important that your documents are there and they've been maintained and the entire chain is there. Entire chain is there for you to find. So for the office itself, upgrades, updates, customer service, those are the key points of this office. As we've seen in the other county offices, county clerk, trustee, that as they've upgraded, made computer online payments, those sort of improvements in their office to make us more the amenities that we're used to today. These are the kind of amenities that this office needs and I can bring to this office. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. J. Alberti, you have the next question. It goes to Mr. Joe Sweeten.
Mr. Sweeten, what do you think is the number one priority for this office, and how do you go about, carrying out that priority?
The number one priority for this office right now is better open access to records. We've all become used to this. You're sitting at home, you like to look things up. You can look up your tax record. You can pay your taxes at home. You can pay your water bill at home. You can't look up your property deed at home. There is a bit of a site through there, what's it called, International Title Search, I believe. Old, antiquated, outdated sites. You can sort of look one up. That's a third-party thing. We really need to bring that profit center back into the Register of Deeds office. Collect the fees for the shipping those out, giving you your copies. They maintain the records. We ought to be able to have the access for those records right in the Register of Deeds office. So that's a priority right now, is making electronic access to the records in the Register of Deeds office. That's filing and retrieval.
Ms. Gannett.
As I said, we do have one of the best computer systems in the state of Tennessee, I feel. We have people come in there every day or so and compliment our computer system. You can go in the back. There's access to computers in the back of our office. All you have to do is type in the person's last name, first name, hit enter. Everything on that person's going to come up. And as far as online goes, we have to protect our records. We can't just let everybody access our records. They are available online through a service. That way we can keep up with who is on our system and who is not.
Mr. Jimmy Settle, we come back to you. Your question goes to Ms. Connie Ganay.
Ms. Ganay, do you identify any specific staffing needs that the Register of Deeds office might need to better protect vital records or improve efficiencies in terms of funding from the county? How's that working out for the office?
Actually, we are staffed very well at this time. We don't leave that office that our work is complete when we leave that office at 4:30 in the afternoon. Everything that's come in that day is scanned in the computer, is indexed, and
Okay, Mr. Sweeten?
That myself, an assessment does need to be done in the office. I don't know and don't have a good exact answer, but just know this, in theory, that there haven't really been any personal changes there for a long time. And in the county, it takes a while to get people. You ask for them, you wait for the budget, you wait another year, then maybe you get a person 2-3 years from now. So you always ask before if you need them. So it just stands to reason, I just suspect, I don't know, that this period of time, without a big personnel change, of course we had the introduction of computers into the office, that possibly the office might be understaffed, it might be overstaffed, and understaffed possibly with the number of transactions we've increased over the years here. And that really needs to be explored, needs to be assessed if they're actually meeting the needs or if cutting some services is what is actually happening, is how we're able to do it with the same number of people that we were using 10 to 15 years ago.
Thank you very much. Mr. Lee Irwin, it's your question. It goes to Mr. Sweeten.
Mr. Sweeten, how would you propose to maintain a good working and cooperative relationship with, say, the county mayor's office, county commission, to further your goals with the Register of Deeds office?
That's fairly straightforward. I've worked in and around the commission for years and years, back since Mr. Weiland was there, and then Mayor Bowers came in. I know a lot of the procedures and how it works. I know how the funding works. I know how the people work up in there, and it is a personnel exercise of getting along with people as you go. So it's really not that foreign to me. Like I say, I've attended 300 commission meetings. I've seen deals hammered out. I've seen budgets hammered out, school and the county budgets. That's the biggest concern of any office, going to be the budget and budgeting time in there. So this is really not a problem. It's just a daily operation I observe right now every day of the year.
Ms. Ganay.
I would go to the commission meetings and, of course, all of the meetings with the county mayor. Our budget is pretty cut and dry. We have a small budget. We haven't had a change in our budget in a while, that's true. Our computer system helps us a lot in our work.
Okay. Let's go to our final question. We're prepared for 6 questions to our candidates today. The 6th question, the final question, will come from Mr. J. Albertia, and it will go to Ms. Connie Ganay.
Ms. Ganay, how do you see the importance of the relationships between the Registrar's office and the other county offices and department heads?
Well, that is very important because we take in the documents and we send them to the assessor's office, and they assess the property, and then they in turn send it to the trustee's office. So we all work together. If they need something, they call us, or if we need something, we call them. We all work together very well.
Mr. Sweeten.
long line of the same answer. That is the Register of Deeds. That's the beginning of the food chain for the tax, for the property tax, where you pay it. Into the Register of Deeds, over to the assessor, over to the trustee. Trustee bills you, you pay your tax. When you go, of course, sometimes we all know this. The deed is a little bit wrong, property's a little bit off, your lines are a little bit off in there, maybe you're paying a little too much, a little bit too less. So the Register of Deeds office is very important. It's very important to work with the other offices, especially when there's a dispute as to what type of the property is, where the lines actually are, how much that property is yours that you're paying for. So it's definitely important to work with the other offices, especially those three right there: Register of Deeds, property assessor, county trustee. That's what it's all about. That's what's making us run today.
We are meeting with candidates on the ballot for the Register of Deeds, Mr. Joe Sweeten and Ms. Connie Gunay, so that you at home can have an informed choice when you go to the polls to vote for your candidate of choice on August the 7th. And I might say that one of the neat things about the Clarksville's political forums is we not only have a chance to learn about the candidates and those who are on the ballot, but we also have a chance to learn about the different offices that they might hold, such as the Register of Deeds. Very informative session today. We've learned a little bit about the access to records needing to be properly stored, easily accessed, and then made available to the citizens of this community. We've talked a little bit about technological services, scanned documents, stored documents, and the whole gamut of the Register of Deeds responsibilities. We now go to our closing comments from our two candidates. They will come in reverse order. We will hear first from Ms. Connie Gunay.
Thank you for this opportunity to be here today. There's a few things that haven't been touched on as far as the Register of Deeds office goes. We take in anywhere from $400,000 to $650,000 a month for the county. That is a big responsibility, and whoever's in office needs to be able to do that. I have proven that I can lead that office. Connie Bell has been out sick quite a bit in the last 4 years, and I ran the office when she was out. I appreciate everybody's vote. Please vote for me in August 7th election.
Next, we'll hear closing comments from Mr. Joe Sweeten.
I want to thank you all for having us here today, and I want to thank the viewers for taking the time to watch these and to learn more about government. An informed voter is something we desperately need in this country. So thank you very much. Let's take it from this angle. If this were not an election, but you were hiring a person, and they turn their resumes in, I've got the resume. I can do this. I can do this job. I can make the improvements in this office. I have legal background, computer background, the management background. I can do it. I see things that need to be done right now. We talked about there is an off-site website that you can actually address some records there. It addresses Windows 95 issues, and it's Internet Explorer 6 compatible. Man, that's got to go. Okay, I'll tell you something. I'm going to tell you straight up. If elected to this office, I can't meet the standard. Now, I can set and exceed this standard. I can do that easily. Meeting the mediocre standards of the state, that's just not good enough. Working with the Register of Deeds office, the Legislative Liaison Committee, our legislatures, Secretary of State, Trey Hargett, we can actually do improvements, and being the 5th largest city in Montgomery County, we should lead the way in this. We should lead the way in technology. We should be a shining example for everyone. I can make that happen, and I'm the most qualified to do that for this job. So please give me your consideration. I'd like you to vote for me on August 7th.
Thank you very much, Mr. Joe Sweeten, Ms. Connie Gunay, for sharing your time, your thoughts, and your ideas about the Register of Deeds office. Both of you will be on the ballot for that particular office in the coming election. Thank you very much for your time today. And also, I want to say thanks to our panelists for your questions today, your time as well. They are most important. And to those who are watching at home, I want to remind you that on August the 7th, it's voting day. You can vote in the state primary and county general elections on August the 7th. If you prefer early voting, then that window is open from July the 18th through August the 2nd. Voting can take place at the Montgomery County Election Commission. They're located at Montgomery Veterans Plaza at 350 Pageant Lane. I want to say once again a big thank you to the folks here at the Mass Communications Department here on the campus of Austin Peay State University for broadcasting this event. and also to Leadership Clarksville and your Clarksville Area Chamber of Commerce for making it all possible. Again, thank you very much for watching. Until next time, I'm Van Stokes.